Marcus, and I am the host of Comic Corner. Along with my co-host Mason, we bring the kingdom of geekdom to light, or to darkness. Join us as we talk about heroes, villains, myths, and more things nerdy. Listen to us every Wednesday at 8 on Spotify. Brought to you by Gateway Pro Productions.
It's a voicemail unlike anything you've ever heard before. There are 2 minutes worth of noises, bizarre ones, with very little actual talking. Authorities confirmed the disturbing middle of the night call came from Henry Mccabe's cell phone.
Negative K, nothing further, just city camp in the corner. We've got a code 187. Officers on the scene.
Hey guys, you are listening to Code 187. My name's Joe, and on this show, we talk about murder. Sometimes we can have a little bit of mystery and investigation. Yeah. And I am joined here with one of my favorite hosts.
Hi, I am Sarah.
Yeah, I got to figure out some type of smooth way because I feel like I always leave you on a cliff. I'm just like, yeah, everybody, I'm my favorite host.
So I wanted to one day you say, hi, I'm Joe. And I go, hi, I'm Joe too. Like it's the Two Joe show or something. Just funny. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, next week we got next week.
Yeah.
But look at this. Sarah's starting out strong. Something new we did. She asked me to get some recordings, or she found some recordings of the case here. And it sounds pretty interesting already. So, Sarah, what is this case all about?
It's weird. That's the one thing I could say is it's bizarre.
Listen, I saw the recording name of it, and I was like, I don't want to listen to any of it. I don't want to listen to any of it because I'm afraid I'm going to hear too much, and I'm going to know what this whole case is about. But just by the name of that audio, it seems weird. It seems very bizarre.
Yes, it's still true crime. It's still like on our level, but it's a weird one. And I heard this case years ago, and I immediately was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. And so I have to cover it. So here we are.
Alrighty. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week on Code 187 as we have this weird, bizarre case that I don't know anything about, but I'm ready to hop in. I hope you guys are too. Let's do it.
Okay, that was a good intro. All right, so the little clip I have written down that kind of discusses it was a man disappeared after a night of drinking. The only clue was this very odd, scary, almost paranormal voicemail that his wife received at 2:28 a.m. So we're going to talk about what might have happened to Henry Mccabe.
Okay.
So let me tell you about Henry. Go ahead.
Nope. I'm still listening.
Okay, I thought you were telling me you wanted to talk. Okay. He was 31 years old who had immigrated from Liberia. At the time, he was working as an auditor at the Minnesota State Department of Revenue. There is audio of Henry talking at his work.
Okay.
Sounds completely different than what we just heard.
Okay.
And what was also on the audio. He's very professional all the time, very good at English.
Mhm.
So just to keep that in mind. And he was married to Henry Mccabe. They had been married for 11 years and had 2 children together. Henry was very active in the I cannot say that word, you know what I mean.
Yep.
The librarian community in Minnesota, and spoke out about the harsh conditions back home because they were going through a war. He had even talked about becoming a politician and initiating change. So the night in question was September 6th, 2015.
Okay.
Henry went to a backyard barbecue. At the time, Henry's wife and children were in California, where she had been working.
Okay.
There he reunited with an old friend from Liberia named William.
Okay.
Later, they went out and met more friends in the evening. There was a lot of drinking.
Okay.
One of Henry's friends took his wallet from him because he was concerned because Henry kept buying everybody in the bar shots.
Yep. As some people do. Okay.
Yeah. And so his friend was like, whoa, dude, you gotta slow down.
Yeah.
So the friends hung out until the bar closed, at which point William dropped Henry off at a gas station nearby.
Okay.
William told the police that he tried to take Henry home. He was like, I'm going to take you to your front door, help you in, all of that.
Mhm.
But Henry was like, no, I don't. I just want to be dropped at this gas station. That was the last time he was seen.
Gotcha.
At 2:28 a.m. that night, on September 7th, now in the morning, his wife received that voicemail we heard.
Gotcha.
Her phone connected to his phone, and she heard weird sounds.
Mhm.
So she tried to three-way call his brother or friend, one of his family members.
Mhm.
That recorded on a voicemail.
Gotcha.
So that's how we got the audio of him and this weirdness.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right. So in this audio, I don't know if you guys can tell, but he sounds like screams of pain.
Yes. Mhm.
But there's a bunch of other noises.
Yeah.
That are very odd, very like click. I don't even know what it's like. You can't explain it. It's like a clicking.
See, I didn't hear the clicking, but I heard just him really screaming and something. Can we play it one more time?
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's a voicemail unlike anything you've ever heard before. There are 2 minutes worth of noises, bizarre ones, with very little actual talking. Authorities
I don't know.
It's like a weird throat
Yeah.
sound.
Well, I was getting ready to do it. But I mean, it's just like I can't even. If I stop laughing, it's just like it's like a raspberry, just like kind of a.
Yeah, it is. And so there is more to it than what you're hearing.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been fully released.
Yeah.
And when they do this where they talk over it, and so we can't clearly understand. I don't know if we'd be able to clearly understand anyway, because it's weird. Yeah. One recording I heard, it sounded like gunshots.
Gotcha.
Like just like boom, 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 like a lot.
Yeah.
And then a pause. And go ahead.
2015, I mean, I don't know how well populated Minnesota is, but I would think that there are still like around this time, there would have been a lot of 24-hour gas stations. I mean, and your friend would have to be really dumb to just drop you off at some type of just deserted gas station, even if you are telling them to,
Mm-hmm. And it's 2015, so we did have CCTV footage of him getting out of the car, walking away. I mean, he wasn't like falling over, but he was clearly drunk.
Now, Sarah, is this a mystery case or is this a murder? I mean, it's a murder mystery. So is this just a strict murder case or is it mystery case?
It's a mystery case.
But see, I don't understand how it can be a mystery case. They said we had CC cameras.
So, all right. So I don't know if I should just keep reading because like I do get into all of that.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I just I got a little frustrated because it's like mystery case, CC cameras. Okay, I'm gonna let you continue. All right.
We get a little bit of closure, but it's still it doesn't match up. It's like the Kendrick Johnson case,
See,
which I know that you just loved that case.
guys, murder, mystery, investigation. We're getting ready to knock all three of those out here.
Yep. So it sounded like almost not human sounds.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it sounded like he was in tremendous pain. Almost sounds like he's being killed or tortured in some way. Towards the end of the recording, the sound just stops.
Okay.
And then there's a voice that says, "Stop it."
Mm-hmm.
When people have slowed down the audio, that's what it has said. I've never heard that, but I haven't heard all the audio. So many people have analyzed it. No one knows exactly what this is.
Mm-hmm.
No one can say this is exactly what these sounds are. The only thing that is known is there is some clicking, there's screaming, loud sounds. They think the clicking could be a car door locking and unlocking, but he was on foot, so he'd have to be in someone else's car.
Yes.
It all is just super strange.
Yes. And I mean, like we said, and two, I don't know. He had to be, for what it sounded like, he was really, really in a lot of pain, like crazy amount of pain. Because I mean, because I just did the, the brrr sound. You wouldn't make that noise unless it was like you were in tremendous pain.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It sounds like torture.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It sounds like torture. See, I'm tiptoeing because I'm trying not to say, I don't want to say anything that's going to either give it away. I want you to listen, I want you to spoon feed me the case. I don't want to figure it out for myself.
You'll have time because like I only have like 3 paragraphs and then there's theories. So we can talk about it. All right. So Henry never came home. He disappeared after that night.
Mhm.
He was reported missing on September 8th, 2015. Then in November 2015, a body was found in a lake 6 miles from where Henry was dropped off. The body was identified as Henry Mccabe. So now we have his body. The autopsy, just like the rest of this case, is weird. After all that screaming, all that sound of torture, the autopsy found Henry had died of drowning. There was no evidence of stabbing, gunshot wound at all. In Henry's pocket was his cell phone. In one pocket was his phone, the other pocket was his battery pack. Henry didn't have his keys or wallet with him because his friends took them at the bar.
Gotcha.
To this day, Henry's death remains unsolved. His death still is listed as heavy drinking and drowning in the lake. There's some interesting theories, but that's all the concrete stuff we know.
Okay.
You look super confused.
Yeah, I am. The only thing that I could really think, okay, lake. Where the lake come from? Was there a lake near this gas station, or did I miss that?
He was 6 miles away from the gas station.
Nice.
In a lake, opposite side of his house. So his house is down here, gas station is here, he was here. So like opposite side for our listeners.
So he was further away from his house.
Yes, like he was walking in the opposite direction.
I don't know. Kind of fishy. I was going to be like, no marks on his body or anything.
Yeah, and after all of that, I mean, it sounds like he is like I mean, and like I said, it sounded like there was gunshots. There sounds like he's just being all out tortured. Um, he said, or someone said, stop it. I mean, all of that. And just he fell into a lake and drowned.
I don't know. There's some cases that come to my mind where they could get away with drowning somebody, and it looks, but man, like all those noises we heard, that
I mean, people have brought up water torture,
mhm.
that someone was holding his head underwater and then coming back up, and that's what the sounds were. It's still super odd.
But then also too, you said he had his phone in one pocket and the battery pack in another. So that means our murderer would have had to, because his phone was working, obviously. But did they take his phone out of his pocket and then take him out of his pocket and then put it into his, put the battery in one pocket? Also, too, there was a murder case that I heard about. There's this real easy way for you to murder somebody in water. I know this sounds really weird, but there was this case where the guy was killing his brides, and what he would do, he would ask them to go to a tub, and then he would pull them by their feet.
Mm.
He pulls them by their feet. One, your body kind of goes into shock because it's like, what's going on? But then underwater, and that can knock you unconscious. So, and then what happens is when the doctors do the autopsy, they say it was drowning.
Yeah.
So that could have been with him being drunk. Maybe he fell, and then somebody was, or they were running after him, and he kind of, because what I could think of, it's him being, maybe it's him, what is it? Maybe it's him running, and then he's running. He maybe goes into the lake, falls, kind of a deal. Then
I love that sound.
You're getting caught up on that.
Yeah, but it's true.
Yeah, and so he's running through it, and maybe that's what he's doing, trying to get the, because you've done that before. You get water in your face, when you just, and so you're running. Maybe they caught up to him, and then maybe that's where you start hearing the stop it and stuff, and then easily. I mean, if the murderer's in the water and the victim's in the water, you could easily just trip them up, and legs, your body would go into shock. You might fall unconscious. Bam. And when I heard that murder case, it's smooth. It's super smooth, because this guy had the murderer in that specific podcast had 3 or 4 wives that he killed that way, and nobody could figure it out. And it's kind of just like our victim. They were like, there's no signs of murder. There's no signs of struggle. All it looked like, they just had water in their lungs,
Yeah.
And, before that, I thought he might have drank too much, his stomach burst, and then, that could be another reason.
I find it weird that there was no head trauma, because like at first I was like, maybe he tripped into the lake or something, hit his head, and that's the weird sounds and everything. But there was no sign of any head trauma. It was just water in his lungs.
Yeah. And I've never been super, super drunk to the point to not know where I'm at. So I really can't relate to this point, but because me, I'm like, I still know where I'm going, Isn't it just weird too that he wanted to be dropped off at this gas station? Like, because listen, I've been super tipsy, and the last thing I want to do, there are 2 things I want to do. I want to sleep and get some food in me. So I would want to be like, dude, drop me off at my house, so that way I can unlock the door, get me some food, and then go hit the hay. Why are you dropping me off at this gas station? So
there is like blackout drunk. I have never been that, but I know people who have. Don't remember a thing.
Yeah.
Act super weird, do things out of character. That could have been. It's odd that all of it happen the way that it did.
Yes, yes. Now, I got something else I want to say, but let's do a break and we'll come back on the flip side and we'll start talking about more of this. So, guys, we'll see you on the flip side of Code 187. Stay right there.
In a world with pain and destruction, we need a hero. Who will be that hero? Gateway Pro presents an old podcast, The Joe Show. Whoa, wrong ad. Let's try that again. Hey guys, my name is Joe and I'm the host of The Joe Show podcast. On my show, we talk about anything and everything except politics. You will never know what we'll be talking about on our show, so you should definitely tune in. Join my boy Marcus and my brother Mason as we talk about food, superheroes, and those are just some of our simple topics. Sometimes we can get a little complex and talk about the difference between wisdom and knowledge. You never know what we're going to be talking about on the Joe Show. Even though we have a plethora of topics to talk about, our goal is to entertain you, the listener. So check us out on social media at Gateway Pro on Facebook, The Joe Show on Reddit, The Joe Show 2020 on TikTok, and The Joe Show _20 on Instagram. You can also find us Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Join us every Monday at 8 o'clock.
We are back with more of Code 187 and this bizarre case that we're kind of in the investigating stage of this case right now. Sarah brought a case to us about Henry, is his name?
Yes.
And how he went to a barbecue with friends and they got a little too drunk. And then everybody was going home, and Henry told his friends to drop him off at a gas station. Next thing you know, he's found in a lake in the opposite direction of his house, and he suffered drowning. But we listened to a clip earlier, and it just sounds more gruesome than drowning. So right now we're just trying to sit here and figure out what the heck's going on.
Trying to solve the case.
Yeah, trying to. Now, this would have to be, I was racking my brain trying to think, I don't know if it'd be premeditated, because this guy doesn't seem like he's a bad guy, you know.
Mhm.
From what we've heard of him, he seems like he's just a real nice guy who's just wants to get into politics. There it is. He wanted to get into politics, and somebody did not want him to get into politics. Maybe. That just hit me like a ton of bricks there, you know.
And that is some people's theory, because I cannot say that word. Where he was from, there was a civil war happening.
Okay.
There's very few words I could say. That is what librarian, yeah. Okay. Henry was very outspoken about this.
Mm-hmm.
Could have someone taken him out for being, on the opposite side of them? Who knows?
Now they're still in that country, right? They're not.
What do you mean?
He's not in the US or anything, right?
Yes, he's in the US.
He's in the US. Where is
he? Minnesota.
Oh, duh, stupid.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I just got my brain so much that I forget facts. We said we were just talking about Minnesota, but yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't understand why somebody would want to assassinate him if they're not in that country, because that sounds like something where, he doesn't have freedom of speech. So now he's talking about our government. Now we're going to assassinate him, kind of a deal when you're in that country. But if you're over here, I do know that a lot of cultures, when they move here, they like to congregate in their groups.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe it was somebody who was on the opposite side of Henry and thought that, I got to stand with my country, so I got to take this guy out. Because that's just it just seems too random, unless it was some random kids out there, who just had the murder bug. But
Yeah.
then I would think it would be a little sloppy too, unless it was somebody who was really good at this,
hmm
Dang it, man.
So let me get into the theories, because it sounds like your number one theory is that it was murder, right?
Yes, that's what I think.
Okay, so let's get into who might have done this. We talked about people talking about the war and politics and all of that. The other person that people talk about is William, the guy that dropped him at the gas station.
Okay.
A lot of people have put this on him, like, you're responsible because you didn't help your friend.
Mhm.
And he was the last person to see him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have much motive. He's cooperated with the police fully, and the police aren't looking at him.
Mhm.
So it doesn't seem like him, but a lot of people do still blame him.
And that'd be one of the crazy things. Like, you're the last person to see the victim. You're always usually the first person, and I would just hate that. Yeah, well, you're the last guy that saw him. You probably did it. What? I don't know.
And that would mean that William dropped him off at that gas station. Henry walked away, and then William followed him too, or went back for him, or something of that nature.
Mhm.
So the other people that they point to his wife.
Okay.
Now, this is Corrine. She was in California, but there are a few things that are a little odd. So, according to the investigation discoveries, Still a Mystery Who Wanted Him Dead, she stated that she confronted Henry earlier in the night because she believed he was cheating.
Mhm.
She stated that he talked about it that night, and she said she was going to talk about it more when she returned home with him.
Okay.
She believed he had gotten another woman pregnant.
Okay.
And she actually told the police when she was interviewed, he ran away with this woman that he got pregnant.
Mhm.
So this was between, him missing and being found. She thought he just ran away, which is kind of weird. But so he was later found dead, and there's never been any evidence that he did get someone else pregnant. The couple may have been experiencing money trouble, but like, who hasn't?
Now we said that the wife had called him earlier that day.
Mhm.
California's a little bit away from Minnesota, unless she was on her way.
Right. I mean, it could be a hit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this one was weird. She had told various people to take their batteries out of their phone when they were with her so they couldn't be tracked.
Gotcha.
And with his phone being in one pocket and his battery being in the other, was he with her? Did she tell him to do that? Was there something weird with that? It's kind of strange, but
The thing about it is, he made the phone call to her, right?
mhm.
So you make the phone call to her. Somebody's got to take the battery out, and I didn't even she's the murderer, not just playing. Because it just seems just a little weird that she does that, has them do that. Or maybe it was some type of ploy. What if it's suicide?
Yeah, I mean, he could have thought, okay, they're not going to trace me or find me, and I'll just do this like my wife tells me to
Yeah.
do.
And so I was just thinking about that too. But then we don't know what was going on, like really going on in his life. So, because, and it could have been a whole acting thing too, with the phone call and everything.
Mhm.
Man, Is that a theory out there too that he might have committed suicide? Somebody have a theory about that?
I mean, I think they put it out there, but I don't think it was like with those noises he made.
Yeah.
It's weird. And he had called. Wait. So this is weird that I just thought of. He called his wife
Mm-hmm.
for that voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to have taken out the battery of his phone after all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So after he was screaming in pain, he would have had to do all that.
It was either him or the murderer that did that.
Right.
Saying that's the little puzzle piece that's really getting me here, because it's like if he did it himself, that's why I'm leaning towards suicide.
Mhm.
But if what was the murderer? I was just thinking the murderer would have to know his wife and know him pretty well to do that trick, because then that would kind of push it off on her, on the wife. So, man, guys, I'm sorry for all the pauses in here. We're just thinking a lot because this is
We're
really,
stumped.
yeah, it's stumping us because it's super confusing. Because what I mean, they're not really giving us too much to go off of here.
There's not much in the case.
Yeah, we've got a guy who's really good. He sounds like he's a good person and everything. He goes to a party, gets real messed up, gets a ride home. Next thing you know, he's dead. There's not a mark on the body, but there's water in his lungs, like he drowned. So then you think suicide. Phone, battery, separate pockets. Now you're telling me his wife was a person that did that. I just want to know because now if William was the person, what was his motive? Like, was Henry's wife hot?
I mean, she's pretty, but I don't know. Maybe. I mean, a lot of times cheaters will accuse their spouse.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she was cheating and just blamed him. They could have been in cahoots together. There's never been anything saying that, but so she collected an insurance policy, but it wasn't like anything crazy. It wasn't just taken out. But she got out of Dodge. She moved, never had any contact with his family. So that's why his family are like really suspicious of her.
Yeah, but to see if you tell the police that you think that your husband or recently deceased husband was cheating, your family's already his family's already probably like she did it no matter what. So yeah, I feel the same way. It looks suspicious, but I think that's completely normal. You don't want to deal with anybody who knows you. New town, new start. That's what you kind of want.
Yeah, she's got kids to take care of too.
Yeah, and she don't need all that extra baggage. Like she don't need her husband dead and then you coming after her. So I completely
So there is a theory, and I don't know if you know about the smiley face killers. Okay, so this is usually in bigger cities. It's a supposed group of active serial killers right now operating in the US. There hasn't been like super solid evidence, but people believe that there's a group of serial killers who take college age boys who are heavily intoxicated and waterboard them in the back of trucks.
Okay.
Then they tend to leave their victims in water to make it look like they drowned and to wash away any evidence. And then the reason they're called smiley face killers is because there tends to be a body where there's graffiti of a smiley face.
Gotcha.
It's an out there theory. It was a theory talked about by two ex-investigators.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, there is a lot of these men college men drowning, and like they go out for a night to drink, they end up in the river.
Yeah.
People are like, what is going on? So it doesn't completely fit the
Mhm.
smiley face killers because this usually is college towns.
Yep.
I don't know of too many also African American victims of the smiley face killers. It's usually white college kids.
Yeah.
And Henry was black, but I mean, it doesn't have to be a victim profile necessarily. It's just,
Yeah,
you never know.
sometimes they could just see a victim.
Hmm.
Yeah, so because I was just listening to a case where there was this guy, he would go after just black men, men of color, and there's opportunity for him to kill a white guy, and he took that, and the police got thrown off because they was like, this is not this guy's MO. Man, so you got that. That's a theory. I had one in my head, but I forgot about it.
Sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good. That was very interesting because I didn't know anything about those groups of serial killers. Could have been into drugs.
Yes. So on that, there are people who believe it was an accident, and they wonder if maybe he was drugged at the club on purpose, or people drop things in girls' drinks all the time and they get mixed up. Maybe he was just completely out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
So people believe that. But if it was a complete accident, it's odd.
Yes, because I was getting ready to say, maybe he was drugged or he got drunk, and maybe this lake was a lake that he always went to. Because
Yeah.
you get high or you get drunk, you start saying, I want to go to my happy place, and you want to go to the lake. So maybe he got there and then he passed out, into the water and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, this whole case is weird.
Yeah. It stumps me. That voicemail just gets me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing it and being like, it's otherworldly sounds. Which is another theory people have, is that it's like alien abduction, Bigfoot, ghost, like other paranormal things.
I don't know.
I did this video on how many, I think there's like a ton of men, like young men, who are driving in cars or out and they just disappear.
Yep.
No body, no evidence, there's just nothing. And this vaguely reminded me of it because I almost lean towards alien abduction in those cases. Because it's like you're driving, you see something weird, and then you're just gone.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like their clothes will be there and they won't.
Yeah.
This case though, his body is here.
It's untouched. They could have taken him, probed him, and then just dropped him.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. It's just some crazy stuff out here.
I bring to you every week the weirdest things.
Yeah,
this is my MO. This is my favorite cases.
Listen, no, I haven't said it yet. This is crazy. There we go.
Yep.
When we start doing merch, that's going to be one of the ones on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. Listen, it just boggles my mind. Listen, you're gonna make me. I'm gonna be sitting there, getting ready to go to bed. Maybe this happened. There was that.
Next week, he's gonna update us on all that he thinks happened.
Yeah, I'm just watch. You're gonna see this back wall here. It's just gonna have markings and words and some news up there.
The red strings.
Yeah. Be like, it looks like it was, you know what? It was the Illuminati. It's got
There you go.
the triangle eye on there. But this is, you know, when I was talking about trying to do like promotions for Code 187, I was like, yeah, we talk about murders, and I was like, we kind of do mysteries, and I was like, but we don't do too many mysteries. And then, you know what, this one just proved me wrong. Yeah, we do a lot of mysteries.
I try to just sprinkle them in there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I like them because they get you thinking. It really makes you think about getting your serial killer brain going and your murder brain going. And I find listening to podcasts like true crime podcasts, I listen to them different now because I'm completely just kind of not even listening to the stories. I'm just listening to all the information about how these killings are happening and all this stuff. So then I could come here and be like, well, this, and this, because you get stories like this, and now you're trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, I've listened to so many cases, and cases will still stump me, and I have no clue. And this is one of those, like, some of the theories, I'm like, okay, maybe his wife hired a hit, but it's strange. Maybe it was an accident, but that's weird.
Yep. Drugs. Then we've got the paranormal stuff going on.
He could have had like a mental break,
Yeah.
and that would just explain that there's no explanation.
Mhm.
But it's just weird that he made all of those noises and all of that screaming like he was just in pain. And then he just took the battery out of his phone and put it in his pocket.
What if it was? I was thinking it could have been like a wild animal, just the way he was screaming so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to tell me about the phone. And
yeah.
And also too, I'm expecting you're like, they found the body, and I'm thinking it's all messed up and just cut up, and there's marks and stuff, And then I thought the mystery was going to be, we don't know if it was a person that did it or if it was an animal that did it. And I was like, okay, we're going to dive right into this. And you're like, there is nothing on the body, nothing but water in the lungs. And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about?
I would be curious to know if he could swim.
Yes. If you guys didn't know this, a lot of African Americans, well, I don't know, I can't say that because I really get a lot of people on here jumping down our throats. We don't like to swim. We can't swim. I'm not even, okay. Nope. That's out there.
But I wonder if he knew how to swim.
Mhm.
That's weird. If he didn't know how to swim, maybe he fell in and was like making weird noises because he was freaking out. I don't know.
Yes. And that would be something. Did the police officers not ask that? Like, that would be,
maybe they know and they just didn't release that.
because if they do know that, okay, like if you tell me that he can swim, then we're back to square one where we're still trying to figure this stuff out. But if you're telling me he cannot swim, then I go back to, he got too either high or too drunk, wanted to go see the lake, fell in, and then drowned. And then we don't have a case, kind of a deal.
Yeah.
But we talked about cameras too. Well, okay, I guess with the cameras, he walked away. So
I definitely think he could have been lost because he didn't have he had his phone, but he didn't have his wallet or keys. He can't call an Uber. He can't do anything.
what the heck is this man still doing with the phone that you could take the back out of? Because iPhones I guess, okay, iPhones you can't do that. Androids, I guess you can still do that. Well, I guess there are still a lot of phones that you can do that, but I instantly think of like a flip phone.
Right.
For your younger audience, a flip phone was not playing.
Go back to that whole, and a payphone is.
Oh my gosh.
It's a weird one. And this one, it reminds me just so much of Kendrick Johnson.
Yes.
that is just unexplainable. So it makes me think there's a cover up.
Yeah.
That's just how my brain works.
Mhm.
And with him being from another country, I'm like, could this be, a race or a religion or a, immigration thing? I don't know.
And also, too, I don't know of a big Black population up in Minnesota. You know,
True.
what part of Minnesota do we know? Because I would think a lot of African American people are more in a lot of urban areas. So like let's take Indiana for instance. Anything up and around Indiana is all we've got a lot of white people. But you go to Indianapolis, where all the black people are. Or if you go up near to Gary, where Chicago is, so it makes a difference. But I don't know of any. It's not like I keep a record of just each and every black group. It's like, okay, we got the Johnsons in.
You guys get together and call each other. Hey,
Just like, you guys doing okay?
have you been to the meeting?
See, people think we got meetings and stuff. I trick a lot of people saying we have like a black Bible. I'm just like, yeah, man, it's in the black Bible. Okay. All right.
See, we've gotten so far off because this case does that to you.
If this show gets canceled, it's because of me.
Yeah, you said it. I didn't say it.
I just said black people can't swim in this one. I'm talking about the black Bible. That's a secret. And
I can't.
oh my gosh. Okay, this case, guys. I hope that you guys can do a better job at trying to figure out this case because Sarah and I are racking our brains. And that's one of the reasons we like you guys to listen to this show and get onto our Facebook group and Facebook page because we post stuff on there and we want you guys to respond to it and try to help us figure out cases like this. Because, we're
going crazy over here.
We can't just have two brains working on these cases, we need more.
Yeah.
So you guys should definitely check out our Facebook and stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot about this show. All your social medias are going to be at the bottom of the page, and Sarah leaves the links in the Spotify. So yeah, you guys should be able to figure out all our stuff like that. This is we're pretty far in all our episodes that we're in. So, the more love you guys show us, the more we might start thinking of doing like a Patreon. Patreon is where you guys will be able to find just everything about Code 187. Sarah, if you guys don't watch her on YouTube, she's got more videos that pop up on YouTube. We've actually been going back and forth trying to figure out if we did a Patreon, what we would kind of do for you guys. But like we said, you guys all have to maybe, in the group on Facebook, maybe give your 2 cents and see what more do you want. So yeah.
I've even had someone email us a case suggestion. So if you don't want to put it out there and have people know, shoot me an email. I will look into it. And if I can throw it together, I definitely will.
Yes, because we are a community of like the Crime Stoppers. I don't know. I just was rambling. Okay, but yeah.
But go definitely check out our social media stuff. I work really hard on putting extra stuff too on there. So yeah.
Yeah. And the TikTok, like say you don't have time to watch a whole video, go to the TikTok. Sarah puts up questions and things like that you can comment on. I just commented to one of her things and it's real quick. It's 2-minute video, write a comment, send a like, boom, it's real quick. So we've got it, all the social media all the way around. So you guys will not be able to get enough of this show. So yeah.
We're in your faces all the time.
All the time. So you know what? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave you guys. Hold on a second. Sorry, I had the police or the ambulance or something here. But
I thought that was our outro. because we have a police siren in our thing. I was like, oh, he's hitting the audio. Okay, cool.
I should have just let that play. I should have just let it play. It was bugging me. Okay. I forgot what I was gonna say. Guys, we're gonna leave you right here with this case. You guys ponder that. Again, go to our Facebook. All the socials are on the bottom of the screen here or on our Spotify description. So go check us out, learn more about us. And like we said, we want you to comment because we have cases like this that rack our brains and make us go crazy. So as of right now, I'm Joe.
And I'm Sarah.
We thank you guys for listening to Code 187. We'll see you guys later.
Hi guys, I just wanted to say I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like any of the content for Code 187, please click that subscribe button, that like button, that share button. Help us out, help us grow. You can find us on your favorite podcast platforms. Yeah, check us out on there. Give us some ratings. Tell us what you think. We're also across every social media on Code 187. So we're on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think that's it. And of course, YouTube. So please, please, please subscribe if you like our content and spread the word. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.